beautiful people, and welcome to the Random and Wonderful podcast. A podcast where I chat about those random questions that end up being wonderful conversations. I'm your host, Grace Simmons, and I'll be keeping you company for the next couple of minutes. I'm the founder of the Amethyst Palaver Hut, a very exciting website that is also a coaching platform made to support you on your journey of being a more grounded and emotionally stable person. Today we'll chat about stepping out of your comfort zone. Is it good? Is it bad? Is it necessary? What exactly does it mean? And what could that mean for your life? Stay tuned. So, remember when we talked about self-identity and getting to know yourself? That, I think, is absolutely crucial when it comes to stepping out of your comfort zone. So you want to figure out who you are, where you are, and figure out what it is you're trying to do and who you want to be. A lot of big questions. But the point is, you need to recognize, one, that you're actually stuck in your comfort zone. How do you know you're stuck in your comfort zone? You have an unshakable routine. Yes? Sound familiar? Okay. So getting to know yourself gives you another perspective so that you can actually take a look at, okay, what are those things that I just cannot seem to shake? What are those behaviors or habits that they're me? Probably could be different, but they're me and I'm comfortable and it's safe here. So in order to do that, or once you figured out where you are, you determine your routine, then you start laying out goals. Now, I would never suggest that you complete a goal that is massive. Start off with small goals and then move to slightly more challenging goals. And then you can tackle the larger goals. So, an example is me working out. A small goal for me is going outside for a 15-minute walk. That's it. The cherry blossoms are blooming. It's not exactly getting warmer, but I have a jacket. And just going for a really quick walk. Another challenge would be signing up for a running group. Training, building myself up to do something like that. And then a larger goal would be completing a marathon. The idea with setting goals is that you want to start with something that's super easy, effortless, almost effortless to accomplish, and it doesn't have any real serious consequences. Again, when you start with those smaller goals, you're able to build up your confidence to knock out some of the larger ones. And then you also want to be prepared to hold yourself accountable. You can have a person who, maybe calls you out, or maybe that's your accountability partner, but you honestly have to be the one prepared to make that change. If you're not ready to step out of your comfort zone, you won't. A key part of that accountability is having a positive attitude. You're making a change. It's going to be uncomfortable, but assuming the worst is only going to make that transition so much more difficult. So having a positive attitude and going in with the mindset of this is great for me is a wonderful place to start. So how do we know it's great for you? What exactly does stepping out of your challenge or your stepping out of your comfort zone do for you? It is a challenge, it's growth, and it's an opportunity to network. Networking sounds terrifying. Trust me, I get it. So you are challenging those perceived notions of behaviors that you have just assumed are comfortable, they're safe. I don't know what you guys are doing over there, but I have no interest in doing the same thing. I'm happy here at home. Why is that? What thing do you think is going to happen if you actually did try to step outside of your comfort zone? Think about one small piece of your routine and change it. Don't try to completely overhaul your entire behavior, because you're not going to stick with it. You're going to go back into that initial routine and you're going to remain stuck. So pick something small, something little. Remember the 4 things that you do on your to-do list. Try to add something in on that list as you're going throughout your day and build your habit out of that. Every time you step out of your comfort zone, you are growing a little bit more. One of the most frustrating things is hearing someone who does not want to accept that challenge is because they're very comfortable, they know who they are, and they're happy where they are. But you could tell there's so much growth that could happen. Our life that we live is so amazing. There's so many cool things you can tap into. There's so many neat people that you can tap into and learn from them. And so if you limit yourself to just what your experience is, you're not going to grow and you're going to be stuck and stay stagnant. Nobody wants to do that. You have a wonderful opportunity to live a great life. So let's take advantage. Challenging yourself also gives you an opportunity to learn some lessons, and this may be one of the reasons why people are so afraid to step out of their comfort zone. It's because you don't want to fail. It's such a horrible thing to fail, but it really isn't. You can figure out your lessons. You can learn what did not work out. You can learn what things to change so that the next time you step out of your comfort zone, the next time you try a similar challenge, you now have experience. And again, experience is building confidence. You're also able to set boundaries or say no. If you now know what you like to do, what things you have an interest in, you can set boundaries when there are outside influences that are maybe pulling you away from something that you don't like or you don't want to experience, and it's okay to say no. Overall, stepping out of your comfort zone can be beneficial to your personal and professional growth. Imagine if you're now the person that steps up and says, yes, I will lead that project. You're the person that encourages your colleagues to partner with you to accomplish a task that has just been on the back burner for your supervisor. Imagine if now you're the person that steps up and says, hey, I don't really think that process works for us, but here are some ideas that we've come up with. Again, these are all things that you can get up to as you practice building your confidence. So the last thing is networking. Being brave enough to connect with other people. One, you have to open up yourself and share a bit of yourself. You have to ask those questions. And to my introverts, that means we have to leave the house. I know it is so much more comfortable to stay at home on the couch watching my favorite show. But something that I've definitely been reminded of during this pandemic is that having the opportunity to go back to in-person networking events and opportunities has been so amazing, because it's not exactly having the same conversation that you would over social media with someone. You're not exactly going to be asking the same questions or hearing conversations that inspire you to dive a little deeper and get to understand someone else's path. There are also skills that you can learn from someone. So in the realm of wellness, I am getting to know some tools as far as like video marketing and getting to understand that other world of content creation. Now, I could talk to other wellness coaches and see what they do, but learning from someone who is actually a videographer is a unique perspective. May not go as in depth as they would, but it's just nice to know the possibilities, the range, the opportunity that's out there, and I would not get that again if I was on my couch. And lastly, networking provides you like-minded individuals for you to build your support system. So not only are you learning lessons, not only are you learning new skills, but now you have a support system to accomplish those other goals that we talked about earlier. So what would your life look like if you stepped out of your comfort zone? For me, I found that life can be more fulfilling. I feel healthier because now I am inspired by creativity. My confidence is being built, and I have control over who I am and the way that I want to transform and show up for myself. Having that control is something, again, that I've shared, which is why I think it's so important to get to know who you are, because you can easily be swayed by somebody else's experience or limited by what other people say. You have to know your own strengths. So just some takeaways from today's episode. Stepping out of your comfort zone requires you to go back and figure out who you are. It requires you to just be bold enough to take those small baby steps as you leap out of your comfort zone. You have to create a plan. You start with one change and then move on to the next. Again, that to-do list, it is so essential. So this is April and it is Stress Awareness Month. I'm curious, how are you easing your stress? Have you ever thought about easing stress and stepping out of your comfort zone being in the same sentence? It is. So I want to hear what new things you're going to try as we go through this Stress Awareness Month. If you are interested in accepting a challenge of taking care of YOU, I have a self-care checklist that you can download to get started. I'll put the link for that in the show notes. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. Again, my name is Grace Simmons, and this is the Random and Wonderful podcast. Please remember to like and subscribe and share what you took out of today's episode. I look forward to hearing from you. Take care, and I'll talk to you next week.